at that point. We don't leave the students alone. Online means that you leave the students alone. No, we invest in teaching faculty, instructors, mentors who support these students extensively every week. Every class we teach, every term, there are 8 hours of live sessions that happen every week. So that kind of involvement is there, engagement is there. We make sure students stay connected. All exams are in person. Every month you have to go to a center near your house and write an exam in person. So the rigor is there, engagement is there, high quality content is there, prestige is there at the end of this degree, and this is without JEE. Today IITM offers this degree. How well are we doing here? Here are numbers just to show you what has happened. I want to remind you, we just started in Jan 2021. We are yet to graduate a full degree holder. People are making their way through the program. Like I said, foundation, diploma, degree, a lot of levels. They're making their way. Let me show you how the funneling is sort of working, right? So we have had so far about 100,000 applications, 93,000 applications. And the number of people who qualified is about 24,000, about 1/4, you know. Already there is that funneling that's slowly happening. The qualification is 1/4. And then out of that, about 20,000 started. Out of that, 17,000 are active today, after nearly 3 years. Look at the retention of an online program. This doesn't happen easily, and we've made it happen. We've made it happen through engagement, involvement with our students. And look at the diversity. We're quite happy about the diversity. Maybe the female part can be a little bit higher, but then overall, age-wise, employment-wise, area-wise, diverse. Not that international yet, but fairly international. I want to show you the CGPA distribution. GPA distribution is important. It pretty much looks like an on-campus program if you look at GPA distribution. It's not easy to get high grades in our program, and you have to really work hard to make sure that you stay on. And so many thousands of people are able to work hard and stay on. And here is a little bit of a snapshot how students are progressing, and a map across the country to show you people across the country are interested in this program. In fact, Bihar, you look at the density in Bihar. That's a bit rare, you know, to get into Bihar with a degree like this. We don't shortchange students on student life. This is an undergraduate program. We take student life very seriously. We put them into houses, groups, competitions, a lot of online events. There's also an on-campus cultural, social, sports event, which we call Paradox. Students came up with this name, Paradox. It's an online program, offline event. It's a paradox, so you should call it Paradox. Every year, thousands of students come into our country. You see a big picture, not country, and into our campus, and have a big celebration of this program. You see that big picture with our director. I don't know if you can see our director there. So there's lots of students surrounding him. They come here. We have a huge celebration in May. In case you want to drop by, please let me know. I'm happy to invite you. This is a fantastic event to be a part of and see our students. So we celebrate this program as much as possible. A couple of BS learners I want you to meet. One is Viraj Sharma. He's from Jaipur, Rajasthan. Very ordinary family. He supports himself through his own work. And he tried for JEE, couldn't afford it. After a while, he dropped it. And then he ended up doing BSc Math in a local college there. Today, he's in our program. He's about to finish both diplomas. He has a CGPA of 9.9. Just look at the talent there, right? And look at how the JEE system and the way the entrance works is simply not going to find this guy. Okay, so we're able to find today. Here's another example, a completely different type of person. Sunita Nair, she was a mechanical engineer working for a long time. Then she took a career break for whatever family reason. And after 5 years, she comes out and sees the world is different today. Right? She took up our program, studied in our program, came up to a diploma. Today she's employed as a value engineer in a pretty big company. Again, a fantastic success story. I can show you stories like this that you won't believe. People from rural parts of UP who couldn't even dream of writing JEE, preparing for JEE are today in our program. And you should meet some of these students. Some of the most inspiring stories you'll ever see are there in our students. I can go on. This slide can go on and on forever. And this is a fantastic testament of how IITM is able to reach all these students. So let me conclude. First thing I want to say is huge thanks to our team. There's a big team across IITs and in IIT Madras, faculty and staff who support this program. Support from MOE, I have to support the Ministry of Education has been steadfast with us over the past 2.5 decades, supporting us through every single one of our efforts. I have to thank them. Of course, I have to thank IIT Madras and its administration for fantastic support. Let me just conclude with some thoughts. I think if more top institutions across the world, across the country, join us in this initiative, we are happy to help. We are happy to tell you what is it that we have learned, what are the tools and techniques we use for engagement, learning, how to reach out. This can provide the 3 cardinal objectives of higher education: universal access, happy learners, skilled graduates. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Professor Andrew. My sincere apologies for the inconvenience caused during the presentation. May I now request the stage management team to clear up the stage for the next presentation. Thank you very much. I once again invite our director, Professor Kamakoti Veeranathan, to the podium to deliver a speech on use of technologies by G20 members to provide accessible, inclusive, and equitable education. Over to you, sir.
A very good morning again to all of you. What I am trying to summarize in the next 30 minutes is based on the inputs that are provided by all the participating countries on different aspects of school education, higher education, and skill development. We see a lot of commonalities. I'll try to bring out the commonalities and also some of the challenges, and I believe that this could form the basis for the 3 sessions that are going to follow on what could be the point of discussion, the important points that need to be deliberated during those sessions. I think this will set the stage for that. With this very brief introduction, friends, the Sustainable Development Goal is of utmost importance, and all of us have this as a common goal, that is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Every one of us are aspiring to meet this goal at the earliest point of time. And while we aspire, we have a set of challenges, and we also have certain solutions, and we would like to look into what are all the good solutions that we have across the planet in each one of our countries, and we will also look at some of the challenges that we face that we could address collectively. The objective of this presentation is to understand how each one of us are addressing the SDG 04 using digital technology. Where does digital technology actually play a role in meeting this Sustainable Development Goal challenges? And we will look at all the 3 verticals: school education, higher education, and skill development. And some of the important things that come up are the common issues that are mostly in the areas of policy, regulations, and the processes. Every country has its own policies and own set of regulations, and these 2 govern the processes. And we have certain challenges and also certain solutions. And finally, we look for a basket of global best practices, and we intend to collaborate to give the best for the future generation. What we did 2 months before, we sent a template to all the participating nations on what we could arrive at a common denominator regarding school education, higher education, and skill development. So these were some of the points. We requested name 1 or 2 major educational initiatives in the respective vertical, and technical details about the initiative, specifically on the issue of scalability. How do we, so one of the SDG 4 is to provide equitable access to quality education for all, and that our population is increasing. We have to reach quite a significant number of people. It's not just children, but we are also looking at future of work. We need to reskill people at regular intervals, and how the technology can be used for scalability. And we also asked for some very interesting platform features that could go as a best practice. We also asked for some of these experiences, specifically in the teacher learning processes through these initiatives, specifically looking at teacher-student interaction, student engagement, and most importantly, the evaluation process. And we also requested for some of the initiatives towards accessibility, inclusivity, and equity, and specifically on bridging the digital divide between the rural part of a country and the urban part, the accessibility to digital content, local language content, culturally responsive education, technologies for learners with special needs. So these are some of the very important points that we wanted to understand. And last but not the least, challenges and drawbacks. I take this opportunity to thank all the nations who have actually responded to this, and that forms the basis of my presentation here. Now I'm splitting this presentation into 3 parts. We will look at the K-12 education, school education part to start with, then the higher education, and then the skill development. These are all the countries who had given us the feedback, and I'm summarizing those feedback. From the United States, there is a National Educational Technology Plan that had been released in 2017. And this plan basically looks at technology-enabled learning with emphasis on equity and opportunity to all, and also to close the digital divide. So they have very targeted programs like the National Education Technology Plan, the Digital Equity Education Roundtables, they call it DEAR, the Educational Technology Media and Materials for Individuals with Disabilities, which they call it as the eTech M2. So these are some of the interesting initiatives from the United States of America, and we look forward to some more details in the sessions that follow. From the United Kingdom, there has been a very strong emphasis on, on the school education, and also that they have a gigabit broadband program for which they have invested around £82 million. And they also have courses in the classrooms, specifically they are looking at connectivity in some of the priority areas to basically bridge the digital divide. And there is an interesting effort on assistive technology pilot classrooms, and basically to train mainstream school staff to address people, students and children with disabilities. On the Australian side, there is a lot of emphasis on online resource. There are 3 key initiatives that we look at. One is the Online Resource Hub, which has 3 subparts: the Digital Technology Hub, the Matrix Hub, and the Library Hub. And then there's a National Lending Library, which is government funded, which supports delivery of AI, digital, and emerging technology contents across the country, specifically tailor-made to the Australian curriculum. Looking at China, China has a high quality education, free for rural areas, and there are common resource platforms. And they do have a program on National Smart Education Platform, which was constructed around COVID-19. China has constructed, during COVID-19 breakover, a number of around 44,000 class resources and given it free of cost, and these are upgraded in 2022. When we look at the European Union, again, the stress is on high quality, inclusive and accessible digital education. They've also looked at individual mobility and institutional cooperation across borders. And some of the important programs they have are the Digital Education Action Plan, DEEP, and Selfie, which is a self-access tools for schools. They are working towards an European education policy during 2025. Netherlands has a specific program for children who do not receive education, specifically due to physical, mental, or home-related reasons. And they also have an EDU-V program, which is government-funded, with an outlay of 35 million pounds. Now, these programs are on the digital end. They have a digital school, which is a virtual program, and they also have a national education lab for AI in addition to the EDU-V program. When we look at France, France has an interesting virtual voice assistant called Captain Kelly, which is used to teach English and also use AI in listening and speaking. And this tool is used as a complement to primary school teachers, not replacing them, but as a complement to the primary school teachers. When we look at Spain, they do have a new education law and curriculum to improve digital competence. They have around 240,000 classrooms that are covered under this program. And they are looking at plan for digitalization and digital competence of Spanish education system, and very seriously looking at bridging the digital divide and specifically the local language content and culturally responsive education. They do have a national education program to address these many, many facets of school education. When we look at South Africa, they have a Department of Basic Education and an AI public special schools with ICT equipment. So this program is basically, they have a resource, as we understand, that looks at digital technologies to basically enhance the school education part. They are looking at bridging the digital divide, and they have also local language content. Some of the important programs are the virtual classroom solution, the mobile network supported ICT resources, a central application service, and a TVET campus connection program called TCCP. Mauritius had an education reforms agenda 2016, where they had looked at seriously on the technology-enabled learning, equity, and accessibility. There are multiple programs here. One is the Early Digital Learning Program, the EDLP, in collaboration with India. So we are very happy about that. And then a student support program. And also there is a strong collaboration with NCERT India. Turkey has concentrating again on providing equal opportunities in education and improves technology in schools. They have improved accessibility, inclusivity, productivity, equity, measurability, and quality are the main criteria for some of their educational initiatives. They have a VPN access, internet access program. They have a very stable network infrastructure and a teacher information network. Through the VPN access program, they have connected more than 14,320 schools, and they have a network infrastructure with connecting around 20,000 plus ICT labs. Indonesia, they have an emancipated teaching program, and they have around 2.3 million teachers who are basically enrolled through this trainers program. Coming to India, we have our national education policy, which focuses on access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. And we have multiple programs. The Swayam, which is study web of active learning by young and aspiring minds. The Samarth, an university information management system. The Diksha, which is for the schools, is a digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. Many of this we will discuss and debate during the sessions. Coming to the common and key challenges, there is a need for an overlapping responsibility, monitoring the outcomes, and continuous improvement. These are some of the common challenges. Multiple languages and cultural diversity, resource allocation and resource management, scalability, and especially the post-COVID environment where there could have been a loss of learning, and how do we manage that? These are some of the basic, common, and key challenges which can be part of our deliberations in respect to the school education. Now I move on to the higher education part. Some of the very interesting projects in the different countries, specifically when we start with United States of America, they have been using digital technologies for higher education, and one of the important things is that they have used blockchain as a pilot project. This basically includes guardianship identity, verifiable credentials, education credential digital wallet, transfer credit recognition system, and digital credential platform. This becomes extremely crucial when we look at education, where we could have an academic bank of credits, where student can access education across multiple universities, take the best, and come out with one recognizable degree, right? So this blockchain gives you a very, very secure environment with lot more of verification on the academic credentials. I think this is a very interesting development when we would like to look at in great detail. United Kingdom, the higher education providers are autonomous here, and the Department of Education is not involved in digital initiatives, as we understand from the slides. But they have a degree conversion program in AI to meet the growing demand, and they are funding scholarship for students from underrepresented backgrounds to undertake AI and data science conversion courses, and they also attract industry investments and reduce government investment. From Australia point of view, there is a regional university center program which looks at the tertiary education access in regional and remote areas, and which uses significant amount of technology. And there is also an access for traditionally underrepresented, like first in family, Aboriginal with disability, etc. China has a smart education platform for higher education. They have 20 online programs, 20,000 high-quality courses selected from 50,000 courses. Top professors and courses, they have the golden online classrooms. So the National Smart Education Program for higher education, enabled with big data, AI, and other technologies, form some of China's initiatives. From the European Union, there is a Connecting European Facility, CEF program, which support individual mobility and institutional cooperation across borders. They have also a digital European student card, the Erasmus Plus without papers, and the framework for micro-credentials. These are some of the technology-related initiatives. It's very specific to higher education from the European Union. When we look at Netherlands, there's a SURF program, which basically talks about cooperative IT organization for Dutch higher education, a platform for knowledge sharing and workshop for innovation. These are some of the initiatives from Netherlands. They focus on open education APIs and information exchange for students, along with infrastructures for micro-credentials. Looking at France, there's a Find My Master's Degree program, a unique digital platform to display master's degrees. and a simplification of the relationship between students and universities using technology. Spain has a transformation of classroom in higher vocational training centers into stages of applied technology and entrepreneurship classrooms in vocational education and training. South Africa has an implementation of National Student Data Warehouse, comprehensive data to provide evidence of success of education system in meeting National Development Plan. And they also have looked at being accessible to all interested parties, provide positive feedback for curriculum revision and renewal from higher education to basic education. Mauritius has a technology-enabled learning project and open educational resources policy. This is a support from Commonwealth of Learning in the development of OER policy and continuity in learning and assessment in higher education ensured during COVID. Indonesia has a Kedai Reka platform where industry presents their challenges and academics can offer ideas. There are close to 9,700 industry partners registered and 12,900 ideas and solutions proposed in the last few years. India has multiple higher education institutions and centrally funded technical institutions. We have a national innovation and startup policy. We have continued the emphasis on STEM while embracing emerging technologies. We have a very, very strong emphasis on interdisciplinary courses. The BS Data Science program, as explained in the previous presentation. We have a very strong support for innovation to kindle entrepreneurship and the spirit to meet the vision of Atmanirbharta, which is self-sufficiency. All these have been highlighted in the national education policy of our country. So to sum up on the higher education side, these are the common and key challenges. One is most higher educational institutions are autonomous and need appropriate management to ensure equity and quality, and need to blend online and face-to-face teaching, limited access for people with disabilities that need to be addressed, responsive to changing labor market, cyber security and privacy concerns, and change management. These are common key challenges that we find across the nations, which could be part of our deliberations looking forward. Coming to the last part, namely the skill development, USA has an educator preparation program to prepare future teachers to be successful in new digital learning environments, and they prepare to thrive in digital learning environment, use technology for professional learning, applied frameworks to accelerate transformation, and improve expertise and increase collaboration. Now, from the Office of Educational Technology and International Society of Technology in Education, the ISTE and the OET, they conduct this educator preparation program, and then this is for ensuring digital equity and transformation network. From the UK, there is a Genet Computer Network, the UK's National Research and Education Network. They funding, there is a considerable amount of funding for skills and further education, and also they connect through the Genet, which also has a digital elevation tool for online self-assessment. Basically, reskilling is to be enabled at scale, and technology will be probably the only solution to arrive at that scale, because as we see with the growing industry 4.0, the different needs that come on a constant basis, these are some of the very interesting initiatives that can take us quickly reskill our people to meet the growing demands and to meet the changing demands from the industry. When we look at Australia, Australia has a digital skills organization, the DSO, established to engage with digital and tech industry to improve training to meet skill needs. The DSO developed digital skills platform model are used for both skill assessment and also digital skill standards. So this is one of the important initiatives from the Australian side. China actually has the National Smart Education Platform on vocational education, specifically targeted to improve digital resources with real-time analysis and optimizing scheduling systems. They have around, again, 30,000 courses of various kinds, including 22,000 courses from 1,209 professional teaching resource libraries, 6,628 online courses, and 2,222 open video courses, 2,222. So this is the scale at which vocational education is addressed by China. EU has developing teaching and learning skills, which is a key pillar of DEEP, a program, Digital Education Action Plan. It also includes AI and data-related skills as core skills in EU's digital competence framework. There is also a EU-level targets are being set for students, specifically from their digital skill, and they also have technology intervention to boosting women participation, specifically in STEM disciplines. Netherlands has a digitalizing Simples. It's an initiative to make education more responsive to labor market and enhancing digital skills. They also set up a Center for Teaching and Learning and National Transformation Hub. France has PIX, a public online service for assessing, developing, and certifying digital skills. It's based on the European Digital Competence Reference Framework, which has currently enrolled 6.5 million users and 1.7 million certificates have been taken. So they have an accessibility in English and compulsory national testing at the end of lower secondary school. These are some of the highlights of the France initiatives. From Spain, there are two categories, what they call as the A actions and the B actions in the strategic action plan dedicated towards skill development. There is a transformation of classrooms in higher vocational training centers into spaces of applied technology, and the entrepreneurship classrooms in vocational education and training, which form the very important aspects of this strategic plan. Under the A action plan, they have a target of 638 by Q4 of 2024. And they are also looking at 374 new 496 using funds of financial year 2020 and 457 classrooms, entrepreneurship classrooms in financial 2021. This basically shows the great importance Spain attaches to specifically vocational training and skill development. From South Africa, there is a national open learning system called NOLS, which provides high quality, accessible digital learning materials for e-learning opportunities, and it's free and online. Mauritius has a micro credential in the national qualification program, and they have a digital experiential learning in the polytechnics supported by the British Council. Turkey has mathematics education platform to support teaching and learning process with real content and related to daily life. They have an EBA digital education platform and applications, and a OBA teacher information network, which has 533 online courses and 22 professional communities benefiting out of that. Indonesia has, again, the Emancipated Campus Platform. This is a platform which provides university students with thousands of opportunities outside of campus. The students can sign up to selected industry partners for semester-long internships and research, etc. This is from the skill development point of view. From India, we have the Ministry of Skill Development. We have multiple schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, the PMKVY, the India International Skill Centers, the Sankalp, which is skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood, the National Artificial Intelligence Translation Tool, which plays a crucial role in skill development, specifically from a multilingual perspective. We also have the National Internship Portal and Bhashini, which is again an AI-based translation tool, which translates from one language to many of our many of our official Indian languages. We also have specific programs on craftsman training, advanced vocational training, upgradation, entrepreneurship support and funding support. Coming to the common and key challenges that we look at when we study all the countries, one thing is to have a program that is inclusive and relevant. And we also should address the weak economy and insufficient entrepreneurship to basically, what are the solutions for that to boost entrepreneurship in the country, and the need to help local economy, agile and effective instruments for skilling versus need of industry with the changing industry needs, and lack of motivation at various levels. How do we address that? Not just students, but teachers and implementing agencies. How do we address that and bring in the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship and the innovation for relearning and continuous lifelong learning? These are the common challenges that we see. So what I have tried to do is, we got these inputs from multiple countries. I've tried to summarize all, tried to bring some of the best initiatives in these countries, and also got some common denominator about the common and key challenges. This would, I believe, can become the part of our discussions in the 3 sessions that are going to follow on school education, higher education, and skill development. We are at Chennai, the birthplace of Thiruvalluvar, a celebrated Tamil poet, philosopher, and sage. The Tirukkural that he has composed is a collection of couplets broadly on 3 topics, namely virtue, worth, wealth, and love. And it's a priceless guide for sustainable living. I will conclude my presentation with a couplet in Tirukkural which goes, En enba ஏனை, எழுத்தென்ப இவ்விரண்டும், கண் என்ப வாழும் உயிர்க்கு, which essentially means the numbers and alphabets are the 2 eyes through which one must see the world. Friends, we are looking at a sustainable development. The future generation must understand the wider world, and education is the only tool. Needless to mention that we will work together to give them the best. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, one earth, one family, one future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Kamakoti, for bringing in the best practices around the world. May I now request the stage management team to set up the stage for the next panel discussion. Dear participants, there will be a tea break session after this panel discussion.